All right, and on worksheet number 50, how about number 9? Now, give me some info and not an equation to work with, which is kind of a bummer, but I guess I can kind of use a really bad sketch, right, to see what's going on. So again, a picture is worth 10 cubed words. I'm going to draw a picture, then try to wrap my head around it. Okay, so 5, -9. I know that's on the graph, right? So 5, -9 is like right here, and I know that that's on the graph. That's a vertex. And I also know -17, -9 is on the graph, so that's a vertex. So this hyperbola is going like this, right? Which already tells me something it's open in the x direction. So I kind of already know it's an x squared minus a y squared equals 1 hyperbola with some denominators down here. Now, there's other information I can get from that, right? Like one of the things I could do is I could find the center, which we know we need that center. It's right here somewhere. The way I would find it is the midpoint formula. So remember, midpoint formula is you just add the two numbers together and divide by 2. It's like taking the mean of two things. So 5 plus a -17 over 2, comma, -9 plus a -9 over 2, and see what you get. That's going to be your midpoint between those two. So -12 over 2 is -6, and -18 over 2 is -9. So there you go. So now I can already start filling in some of this information. I can say x plus 6 squared over something minus y plus 9 squared over something equals 1. And now I just got to figure out what those somethings are. Well, there is good news. This has a rise and then a run, right? And that was found on previous problems by looking under what was under y and what was under x and square rooting it. So I can kind of work it backwards, which is kind of nice. I could also find things like I know this distance, right? So I know what A is. That's another thing I can think of. So let's think about, because I'm kind of, as I realized, I was talking about rise over run for the slope. I realized that as a fraction and it could have been reduced. So that makes me a little nervous. So I want to actually calculate what A is. So let's see, how far is it from -6 to -17? Well, that is -11, right? So I know that A is 11. So in the x direction, you have to go 11. So A squared is 121. Now the good news is, look at this denominator. Here's the slope right here, right? The slope is 10/11ths, which I said the word 11, and I know 11 works. So I know that this is 11. That means that this had to be 10. So if I square 10, I get 100. Boom, know the equation, right? And now I could do whatever you want, right? I know that c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. So I got the vertices they gave them to me. I know where the center is. I could find the foci if you wanted by adding those together and getting 221 and square rooting it and then adding it to the x values from the center. So everything is there. The asymptotes are already there. I don't think there's anything spooky. My graph is even there. So there. Enjoy it. Stay happy.